Yeah, I'm here with John at RJS, and I was remarking how real world budget, great sound, perfect for this size room, doing everything smart. And this is kind of your quasi second launch. You did the first Florida
our
before
relaunch,
COVID. This is your relaunch. So can you tell me more about this, your bass augmentation?
Bass augmentation. We're not calling it a subwoofer because
Gotcha.
we're not trying to add bass or dominate the room with bass. We're trying to supplement your great sounding speakers to sound like full range speakers. And to do that, we're not using DSP, we're not using any kind of equalization or assistance. No band-aids are needed. We're doing it within the acoustic domain.
Okay.
Just like your speakers operate within the acoustic domain. They're designed to work that way. So we're just supplementing what your speakers can't do naturally.
Okay.
That's the whole point.
Do you hook them up? How do you hook them up in terms of through your amp?
Yeah, we're driving
right off the amp
with a dedicated subwoofer amplifier. It has the built-in
preamp out. Right.
What? You're using a preamp out.
A preamp out.
Going to your main amp, driving your main speakers.
Okay.
Tapping off of that to go to the subwoofer amp to drive the bass augmentation system.
So
and the subwoofer amp has all the bass management, frequency, parametric EQ, variable phase, level control, and some other nice features.
So you can roll off and change the crossover point of your augmentation model to match whatever speakers, however they roll off. Okay, that's smart.
And again,
so like a subwoofer, but
it's what a subwoofer is supposed to be.
Okay.
All right, which is why, but it's what subwoofers started out to be back in the 70s when M&K started the whole thing.
Yeah.
Engineers have kind of taken it in a different direction.
Yeah, boom boxes and stuff.
Yes, they become bass engines.
Yeah.
We don't want
dominate the sound. Yeah.
We don't want to draw attention to ourselves. We want your speakers to be the star of the show.
Now, do you sell them in pairs? Do you normally recommend pairs, or you do one?
This system, the MD2, is meant to be sold in pairs.
Gotcha.
We have
smart.
the bigger system, the MD6, which a single one is more than sufficient for most rooms.
Okay. Interesting. And then the power, is it like a Class D amp, or what are you using?
No, we're using a Dayton Audio Class AB 1000-watt amplifier.
Good. Yeah. Okay.
It's not ours, but it's one of the ones that we recommend.
Gotcha. Yeah. You rarely see the ABs on the.
It's a Class AB with a Bob Carver design power supply. It's a nice piece of kit. It's affordable, it's accessible, available, and it does the job quite well.
Around 500 for the
500. The amp is $500 retail.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So your two models, what are they running?
The MD2 is $27.50 a pair.
Oh, that's great.
The MD6 is $57.50 for the single unit.
Interesting.
The MD2s, a pair of those moves as much air as a 13-inch subwoofer with the speed and agility of a 6.5.
Because that's the size of those drivers.
Because it's 4 6.5-inch drivers, 2 per system, 2 per cabinet.
So it's a ported design, or are you doing like a transmission line?
It's a vented design. It's a pretty tricked out vented design. We're actually getting these drivers down into the low 20 hertz range.
Interesting.
Without adding any EQ.
Yeah, so it almost looks like one of those transmission line cabinets kind of folded.
Well, we just decided to go vertical instead of squat and square.
Got you.
Okay?
So yeah, it just...
We still need internal space.
Yeah, it's not a true transmission line, but you got, it's your own unique...
It's a tricked out vented alignment, yes. Okay. We had to sacrifice a few decibels to get the low end extension. With a 1000-watt amp, the efficiency is not that big of a deal.
Okay.
The MD6 uses 6 very special 6.5-inch drivers.
6 of them, okay.
There's neo magnets. They have extremely long X-Max, over an inch of linear travel.
Oh, that's rare for like a 6-inch driver.
Correct. They're special built drivers.
Okay,
I mean, they're not just for me, but they are unique drivers.
Interesting.
That moves as much air as a 16-inch woofer. Again, with the speed and agility of a 6.5.
Wow.
So they're quick and they're potent.
I don't see many 6.5s that move that much. You know, I have 6-inch on mine, like 16 of them, but they don't move that much.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the other beauty of this is that because you've got, in this case, 4 voice coils, or in the MD6, 6 voice coils, you're sharing the amplifier power. Each cone, each speaker is only getting so much of that power.
Yeah.
In this case, 1/4 of the power. In the MD6, 1/6 of the power. It takes a lot to overdrive these because they're sharing the power.
Yeah, that's impressive.
They're also vibration canceling in how they're configured. They work in opposition on the enclosure.
Okay.
So they cancel out mechanical vibration.
Oh, that's clever, yeah.
That's one of the design features, but the bigger advantage of that is it increases the system's transient response. Instead of the cabinet giving way against the forces of the driver, they're canceling out each other.
Makes it quasi firmer. Yeah.
It's like an Olympic swimmer pushing off against an in-ground pool.
Right.
The liner can't give way. All the energy is converted into momentum.
That's interesting. Yeah, so that's smart. Yeah. Okay.
So it increases the transient response, the small driver size. Again, that's why we don't call them a subwoofer.
And let's not forget about the aesthetics. When you're talking about that vertical aesthetic is much better. Some people might think it's a speaker and not or end table.
Stand, okay?
Yes, exactly. So that's very smart.
Use it as speaker stands for your satellite speakers.
Yeah.
Or to stand alongside your towers, or in this case, magnepans.
Right. Yeah, well, it's great that you're not just doing another Me Too sub. A lot of innovative stuff.
If I was, I wouldn't even be attempting this. Okay?
No, great job, and thank you for sharing time on that.
Thanks for the interview.